Welcome, and today topic is project management PMP, that is initiation process group. The first process group in project management is initiating process group. Today we are going to discuss about initiating process group. So when project will be initiated, so when there is a need, business need, the project will be initiated for that business need, and it can be within an organization, or it can be from external clients. We get project from the organization, external from the organization. So when this business need arises, it might be due to environmental changes, it might come because of new rules in the government, or environmental changes, or the expansion of the business, or technology changes. So we have various reasons to organization will go for the project, and that is business need. When there is a business need, they go for the project. So organization business unit comes up with this business need, and place it on PM board. The PM project management board will have the PMO and portfolio managers and program managers. So organization unit and PM were together analyze this business need and then prepare the statement of work. The statement of work will contains the high level requirements for this business need, and so they assigns a project manager to prepare a project charter for this business case, and the project manager we analyze and goes through the various processes and prepare the project charter and stakeholder register key stakeholders in this project. So project manager identifies the stakeholder and gets the requirements from the all stakeholders, and they prepare the project charter. We're going to see this, what is project charter contains. Now the project manager is assigned, and project manager is going to prepare the project charter and stakeholder registers. These are output from the initiation process group. Project charter and stakeholder. After initiation process is completed, that output we have is project charter and stakeholder register. This will be input to the project planning process. Once project charter is approved, so and funds are allocated, the sponsor is ready to allocate the funds, so project manager will have a go to the project planning phase. So project chart is approved is to the end of the initiation process and start of the project planning process. So what are the input for preparing the project? For project manager to prepare the project charter, so what are the input for him for preparing the project charter? First is business need, that is business case. So he analyzed that what is the business need, and he get it from the project management office, PMO. It gets the statement of work. What is the project statement of work contains, and he analyzes it. What is the actual requirement of this project? So that is input to the preparing project charter. Then he analyzes that how it supports the company's strategic plan, and we get this company strategic plan from the PMO. So that will be input to, so this project must be fit on to as per the company's strategic plan, then only this project can move forward. So we need to put it in the document that how this project is supports the company's strategic plan. Then it has got inputs from the organization business unit and PMO, and so we get the key stakeholders. What are the key stakeholders? From them we get the requirements of this business case. So that is the key stakeholders. Here it is from the, if it is external to the organization, that is the sponsors, and that sponsor will have some key stakeholders associated with the business, or within the organization the project manager communicate with the organization business unit, and how company does business and define process and procedures. So this project has to be follow this process and procedures. So how it is impacted because of this defined process and procedures, how this project get impacted and how this project get executed. So we outline this in project charter document, and he gets the information about the fast relationship with the sponsor of the projects and likely stakeholders. So PMO always maintains the history of the past projects, and he get the data about sponsor, what is the sponsor and what is the characteristics of this sponsor, and if you have any issues before or from lessons learned, we get the info, and then make sure that project manager will goes through this fast history of this sponsor, and then accordingly act with that sponsor, and identify and communicate. He prepares the communication management plan, depends on this history of the sponsor projects and key likely stakeholders. So he get that info from the PMO. Then templates from the past projects. The PMO always prepares the templates for the projects, so that templates has to be followed by all the projects in organization, and then all these templates must be followed. This is the standard set by the PMO for this organization. So all project templates must be followed. So that is, we get the templates from the past projects. And historical work breakdown structure. So we need to, project charter will have a high level estimate of the project. It gives the high level estimate of how many, the duration of the project and high level budget. So that is done by the expert judgment in the project PM or portfolio managers and project managers, and based on their experience and the data of the history of similar related projects it's done before, and they get the data, and then based on experience they prepare, they get this, they do this high level estimate and high level duration of the project and high level budget of the projects, and based on experience and history of the similar kind of projects done before. So they get the historical work breakdown structure from PMO. Currently going major projects, so we need to analyze, the project manager should analyze, we need to get the info, what are the projects are going on and what is their impact, and so we need to analyze and place and document it in project charter, the impact on this project. What is the impact on the project by the currently going on major projects? so that he get it. And then company's future, what is the company's short-term goals and long-term goals, the impact on this project. And then company's culture, so always company's culture plays a major role in the project execution. It it documents that because this company's culture, we need to assumptions and constraints, and that this process and procedures will be followed, and because of this company's culture, so we need to have a defined rules, so that will place it on the assumptions and constraints of the project charter. So these are all inputs from the for preparing the project charter we get from the either organization business unit or sponsor or project management office. So what are the tools and techniques for preparing the for project charter or stakeholder registers? The first is expert judgment. So this all SMEs of this project management will be involved in this process, so that's their expert judgment is the main tools and techniques used in this process. And facilitation techniques, and this project manager have a regular meetings with all stakeholders for organized business units, sponsors, PMO, and all related parties. The facilitation techniques use the brainstorming or meetings or Delphi technique. So they're all techniques the project manager will follow and then get the required info about the project. So that will be documented in the project charter. So what is the outcome of this initiation process group? That outcome is project charter and stakeholder register. Let's see how to prepare this project charter and what it contains. And the first it is contains is introduction. In the project charter document, the first to have the introduction. It outlines the project requirements and budget and duration of the project. So it outlines that introduction tells that everyone, whoever is sponsor, organization, business unit, and by looking this introduction, they understand this, what is the project and what is the budget line and what is the longevity of the project and everything. This introduction gives you brief introduction of this, what this project charter document contains. And this project charter will have the first high level requirements of this business need, and based on statement of work, business statement of work, and based on the series of meetings with the key stakeholders, he gathers the requirements from the all stakeholders of the project and prepares the high level requirements. So he documents the high level requirements and the high level schedule and budget. So based on the expert judgment, he comes up with the what is the budget for this project, approximate budget for this project, and approximate schedule and duration of the project. So later it is refined in the planning process, but initially it will have the approximate budget and high level schedule. And it documents this high level risk identification. So he identify the risks. What are the risks associated with this project? It can be due to the sponsor, it might be it identifies based on the previous experience and expert judgment. They identify the risks, resource risk, and the whole type of risk this project is going to be faced. So that is high level risk identification. So they identify the risk and then document in the project charter. Measurable project objectives. Outcome of this project, what is the objective of the project, and then it is divided into that high level requirements are documented in the like measurable project objectives. That means at end of the project and what actually this project results is going to affect the business. So that, yeah, so when the project meet this project objectives, then only we say this project is ended. So what is the objectives, why you are going for this project, and what is the main objectives? Like this requirement, this project should meet these requirements, so that must be measurable project objectives. So at the end of the project they sees this, these are all projects objectives as projects are met. So they document in the such that project objectives and what is the expected results and what is the results we got when project is completed. Major milestone schedules. So this project charter is something like a high level project planning process. So this is project charter, it is something like high level of project planning. So it will have the all parameters in the project planning process. It's high level of that project planning process. So it will have major milestone schedules. So what are the milestones should be achieved and timeline, so that it documents in project charter. And project manager analyze this cost benefit analysis for this project. So because of this project implementation, what the sponsor is organization, you get the benefit, cost benefit. So that is it must document in project charter that because of this project and this organization is going to get benefit out of this project. So this document must support this cost benefit of the project. So the documents in the project charter. And he analyzes that how project fits into the organization's strategic objectives. So what is the strategy of that organization is going forward, and what are the short-term goals and what is the long-term goals. So how their business is objectives in. So he analyzes how this business need or this project fits into that strategic objectives. So that project charter document will have this document about this. So this project is in line with this because of these reasons, and this is in line with this strategic objectives. Facilitate the resolution of conflict objectives. So when he analyzes this statement of work and when they are communicated with the stakeholders, key stakeholders of this project, so they might be the conflict of objects, and one stakeholder says that this is the requirement of this stakeholder, another stakeholder says that this is the requirement of. So there might be the scenario of that objectives might be conflict. So he facilitates the techniques, use the facilitate techniques and resolve these conflicts, and then made it the project objectives, finalize it, and then document on the high level requirements and like project objectives. Outlines this how organization does business and what procedures and policies are already in place in use on the projects. So he outlines in this project document what is the organization process and procedures. It's already in place, it has to be followed for this project. So he outlines in this project document. And project planning process on high level basis. So these are all, as I mentioned earlier, this is project planning. It's a high level project planning process is carried out in initiation process group, because it will have everything in high level. It will have high level scope statement, high level budget statement, high level schedule, high level risk identifications, high level stakeholder analysis and communication management. So it has got everything what the project planning process will have. So this is we basically are doing the high level planning process. So this is work with customers and other stakeholders to determine the acceptance criteria, and this we get it from the who are the sponsors, who are the stakeholders. It might be organization, business unit, PMO, and all project members and customers. This we get all the inputs. Who are the stakeholders and who do this acceptance criteria? Who determines this acceptance criteria? Is who define this acceptance criteria, and project manager is communicate with those stakeholders and do analysis and get all the objectives from the stakeholders, and depends on the project objectives and business need. So he decides and what is and what is not in the project objectives, and he gets approval of all the stakeholders at the end of the initiation process group. So what this outcome of initiation process group is project charter. So that is project charter explain this initiation process group, and this is project charter contain all this information. So next outcome of the initiation process group is stakeholder register. This stakeholder register, so this is will have this how or identifies the stakeholders, high level stakeholders and their influences, their risk tolerances. So he gets all the info about the stakeholders, how, and prepares the high level communication management plan, and he gets all high level requirements from the high level stakeholders, and he defines their influences, and he documents their influences and risk tolerance, and then so this the requirements collected from the stakeholders, high level stakeholders, and expectations and needs and expectations convert into the requirements and documents in the project charter. So prepare the stakeholder registers that mapping to requirements. So who is responsible for which stakeholder is have high influence on which requirement, and who is responsible for that requirements, and he gets. So when during the project execution, entire the project process, so who to be communicated when there is issue on some conflict on the requirements. So and he documents their influence and impact of that stakeholder on the specific requirement and outcome of the project. So these are all, he documents it all about the stakeholders. In detail we are going to see the stakeholder management in later processes. So this initiation process group will have high level stakeholder register, and it will have that all high level key stakeholders, and then it have their requirements mapping to each stakeholders and their impact and influence on the project, and all communication management about for the stakeholders will be documented in the stakeholder registers. And this is information is captured, this all information is captured in the project charter and stakeholder registers, and then we get approval and finalize the project charter, and then it will have that everyone sponsor and the organization, business unit, PMO is all have will be go through this project charter. So all key stakeholders, project manager, PMO and then organization unit, sponsor, so once approved, so they have a key stakeholders, they have a right to approve or go through this project charter, and they make a decision on this to go forward or not. So once project is approved, so this you authorize this project manager to go forward when the and this organization business unit or sponsors have the enough financial resources to carry this project, and this project charter is approved. So then it is goes to the next phase, project planning phase. So that is, so once project is charter is approved, then so we got go on that project and we'll go on to the next phase, project planning phase. So this is all about initiation process group, and this is mainly the main outcome of this initiation process group is project charter document and stakeholder registers according to PMBOK and 5th edition. So it will initiation process group will have project charter and stakeholder registers.